Hello, good morning, class.
Good morning po, ma'am.
Good
Morning.
morning po, ma'am.
Morning
Yes, ma'am.
po.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning
morning.
po, ma'am.
So, I'm Miss Halandoni, your professor for Personal Education 6. So, class, may I remind everyone that screen recording or taking some photos while we are having a discussion is not prohibited unless you forward it to me first. And if you want to answer or you have a question, just kindly click the raise hand button so that I could notice you. And also, class, if you have a good internet connection, kindly please open your cam so that I could see what you are doing at the time of our class. Am I make myself clear, my dear students?
Yes
Yes
po,
Yes
po,
po,
ma'am.
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 Okay, thank you. So now, before anything else, let's have a peaceful prayer to be led by Mr. Donakaw.
So let's bow our head and feel the presence of the Lord. God, Father, may everything we do begin with your inspiration. Let the vision of knowledge find its origin in you, and though you attain wisdom. Lord, pour out a spirit of understanding, truth, and peace. Help us to strive to follow our hearts to know that what is pleasing to you. When we know your will, make us determined to do it. Amen.
Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. So, thank you, Mr. Donakaw. Now may I call on Miss Secretary, Miss Joanne Tautau. Kindly please report to me the number of absentees that we have for today.
Good day, everyone. Good morning, ma'am. Today, the number of absentees for BSIE, ICT 2A and 2B are 1, and that is Miss Bathan.
Okay, thank you, Miss Secretary. I'm glad that you are present today and you only have one absentee, despite of having some difficulties or problems in internet connections and to our personal lives also. Still, you can manage to attend our class today. So for that, I want to congratulate everyone for doing a great job. So let's proceed. So last time we discussed about media literacy, right?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, now can somebody tell me what they have learned about our past lesson, the media literacy?
Ako po, ma'am.
Yes, Miss Piñas.
Media literacy is the ability to identify different types of media and understand the message they're sending.
Very good, Miss Piñas. It is right that media literacy is the ability to identify different types of media and understand the messages they're sending. And it must be integrated in the 21st century curriculum because information is almost everywhere. We must know how to properly evaluate it in order not to be a victim of fake news and fraudulent scam. Now, to shake the things up, I prepare an ice break game. Are you familiar with four picks and one word?
Yes
Yes po,
po,
yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad that you're familiar in this game. And I think it is not so difficult for you to answer this game because you're familiar with it. Okay, the mechanics in this game is I will play a four different pictures that links to a one word. So, are you ready, class?
Yes,
Yes
ma'am.
po.
Yes po.
So, okay, let's start. Our first word is, so just click the raise hand button. Okay, Miss Villacruzes, you have been noticed.
Financing po, ma'am.
Okay,
Financing.
okay, thank you, Miss Villacruzes. Let's see if Miss Villacruzes is right. She's right. It's financing. Thank you, Miss Villacruzes. For our second word, who wants to answer? Yes, Mr. Montano.
Money po, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Montano. Let's see if Mr. Montano is right. You're correct, Mr. Montano. You got it. Okay, for
Thank
our third word, who wants to answer? Just click the raise hand button, my dear children.
Ako po, ma'am.
Yes, your name? What's your name?
Mr. Donakaw po.
Yes, Mr. Donacao.
Mr.
What's your answer?
Budgeting po, ma'am.
Okay, let's see if Mr. Donakaw is right. It's budgeting. Congratulations. Now, for our fourth word, who wants to answer? Yes, Miss Ignacio.
Management po, ma'am.
Okay, let's see if she is right. Yes, it's management. Now, for our last word, how about you, Mr. Francisco? What do you think it is, Mr. Francisco?
I'm not so very sure, ma'am, but I think it's literacy.
Okay, let's see if you are right, Mr. Francisco. Yes, you got it, Mr. Francisco. It's literacy. Now, so the five answers are financing, money, budgeting, management, and the last one is literacy. From these five words, can somebody guess what is our topic for today? Miss Tautau? Yes, Miss Tautau.
I guess po, ma'am, our topic for today is financial literacy po.
Okay, let's see if Miss Tautau is correct. She got it. Our topic for today is financial literacy. So, do you have any idea what is financial literacy, Miss Tautau?
So, financial literacy po is possessing the skills and knowledge on financial matters to confidently take effective action that best fulfills an individual's personal, family, and global community goals.
Okay, you're right, Miss Tautau. Thank you. Other definition for it is financial literacy is the ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills, including personal financial management, budgeting, and investing. The lack of these skills is called financial illiteracy. So, the lack of financial literacy can lead to a number of pitfalls. Financially illiterate individuals may be more likely to accumulate unsustainable debt burdens, for example, either through poor spending decisions or through a lack of a long-term preparation. This in turn can lead to a poor credit, bankruptcy, housing foreclosure, or other negative consequences. Thankfully, there are now more resources than ever for those who wishing to educate themselves about the world of finance. Like like us, we are now studying the world of finance. So now let's proceed to financial planning. And under the financial planning, we have the financial plan, budgeting and investing, and insurance. When we say financial planning, it is a process, not a product. Take note of that, my dear students. It is a process, not a product. It is the long-term method of wisely managing your finances so you can achieve your goals and dreams while at the same time negotiating the financial barriers inevitably arise in every stage of life. So next is financial planning. Um, Miss Lego, kindly please read what is financial plan.
A financial plan is a document containing a person's current money situation and long-term monetary goals as well as strategies to achieve those goals. A financial plan may be created independently or with the help of a certified financial planner.
Okay, thank you, Miss Lego. Mr. Donakaw, have you done any financial plan before?
Yes po, ma'am. Since I am ABM students way back in senior high school po.
Okay, that's great, Mr. Donakaw, that you have a background in financial plan. So, financial plan is a comprehensive evaluation of individuals' current pay, future financial state, and any strategies you've set to achieve those goals. A good financial planning should include details about your cash flow, savings, debt, investments, insurance, and any other elements of financial life. So next is we have budgeting. Um, Mr. Francisco, kindly please read what is budgeting.
Budgeting is the process of creating a plan to spend your money. This spending plan is called a budget. Creating this spending plan allows you to determine in advance whether you will have enough money to do the things you need to do or would like to do.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Francisco. When we have a face-to-face class before, as a student, Mr. Francisco, how do you budget your money every day?
Ano po ma'am, my everyday budget po is 200 pesos per day. Then this amount sometimes is not enough because I am from Cavite and I need to ride a bus and other vehicles also before I could arrive to school. In transportation alone, it will cost 100 pesos. So I only have 100 pesos left and I will spend it for food and some fees that I need to pay.
Okay, so thank you for sharing to us your way to budget the money that you have for living. Since budgeting allows us to create a spending plan for your money, it ensures that we will always have enough money for the things that we need and the things that are important to us. Following a budget or spending plan will also keep us out of debt or help us get out of debt. So, the next one is investing. Miss Villa Cruzes, kindly please read what is investing.
Investing is the act of allocating resources, usually money, with the expectation of generating an income or profit. You can invest in endeavors such as using money to start a business or in assets such as purchasing real estate in hopes of reselling it later at a higher price.
Okay, thank you, Miss Villa Cruzes. When you invest, you have a greater chance of losing your money than when you save it. So the money you invest in securities, mutual funds, and other similar investments typically is not federally insured. You could lose your principal or the amount you've invested, but you also have the opportunity to earn more money. The same as in love, my dear students. For instance, you keep on investing your love to a person who don't like you. There are two possible things that could happen in the end. It's either you could lose the love, time, and effort that you give to that person, or you could earn opportunity that he or she will love you back because you keep on waiting and investing. So, my dear students, even if it's money, love, or anything else that you invest, always be mindful because, yes, you could earn, but at the same time, you could possibly lose. And there's no certainty in it. So, always be mindful, my dear students. So, the next one we have is insurance. Mr. Montano, kindly please read what is insurance.
Insurance is a contract represented by a policy in which an individual or entity receives financial protection or reimbursement against losses from an insurance company. The company pulls client risk to make payment for affordable for the insured.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Montano. Insurance means a protection from financial loss. It is a form of a risk management primarily used to hedge against the risk of a contingent or uncertain loss. Now let's have an activity. I want you to identify what type of insurance is stated in the presentation. Am I make myself clear, my dear students?
Yes po.
Okay. So for number one, who wants to answer what type of insurance it is? Yes, Miss Ignacio.
The greatest benefits of this insurance is it include the ability to cover your funeral expenses and provide for those you leave behind. I think the answer is life insurance po, ma'am.
Okay, let's see. Miss Ignacio is correct.
Thank you.
Yes, you're correct, Miss Ignacio. Thank you so much. Now for our second quiz, for our second, who wants to answer? Yes, Mr. Montano.
It is a type of insurance coverage that typically pays for medical, surgical, prescription drug, and sometimes dental expenses incurred by the insured.
So
Health
what type?
insurance po, ma'am.
Okay, let's see if you're right. Yes, it's health insurance, Mr. Montano. Thank you so much. For our number three, who wants to answer? Yes, Miss Lego, you have been noticed.
It helps it helps you pay bills and cover your expenses when you can no longer work due to injury. I think the answer, ma'am, is disability insurance.
Okay, let's see if you're correct. Yes, you're correct, Miss Lego. So for our fourth question, who wants to answer? Yes, Miss Villa Cruzes.
This is for yourself or loved one. It can help you to ensure that you won't run out of money before you run out of time. Long-term care insurance.
So let's see if you're correct, Miss Villa Cruzes. Yes, you're correct. Thank you. Now, for our fifth, who wants to answer? Yes, Mr. Donacao.
Can cushion, can cushion you or your business against claims of harm or wrongdoing. It's liability insurance.
Let's see if you're correct. Yes, you're correct, Mr. Donacao. Thank you so much. Now, for our sixth and last, who wants to answer? Yes, Mr. Francisco.
Fires, floods, accidents, there's no shortage of reason to need. I'm not so very sure po, ma'am, but I think it's home insurance.
Let's see if you're correct. Yes, you're correct, Mr. Francisco. Thank you, my dear students, for cooperating in our activity. Now, I will present a video clip from the Financial Minimalist PH, and I want you to listen carefully and take down some notes, okay? Because I will ask some questions later. So, listen carefully.
There's a story about this little girl and her mother preparing a dinner. Kid asked, "Ma, why you cut the ends of the ham?" Mother replied, "I don't know, we should ask your grandmother." Kid called her grandmother. "Grandma, why you cut the ends of the ham?" The grandma replied, "I don't know, sweetie, maybe we should ask my mother." The kid called her great grandmother. Kid asked, "Grandma, why you cut the ends of the ham?" The great grandma replied, "I don't know why you guys cut the ends of the ham, but I did it because my oven was too small." It's funny because sometimes we do things just because that's the way it was always been done. Most of us are always taught that you go to school, get good grades so you can have a high paying job. It is true for the most part, but it's not the high paying job that will make you wealthy. Like what Robert Kiyosaki said in his famous book Rich Dad Poor Dad, it is not how much money you make, but how much money you keep and make that money works for you that matters. I have seen a lot of people with high paying job end up owning a lot of debt. Why? Because of our Filipino money mindset. The first day we get that high income salary, we tend to think on how are we going to spend it rather than save it. Minsan wala pa nga yung sahod, may naisip ka na ano yung bibilhin mo. As your salary increase, the cost of your living expenses also increases. You started buying car, acquiring that loan, spending money on shopping, buying that expensive shoes, getting that latest gadget, and then one day, little did you know, you are now in the rat race. This is why most people struggle financially. You go to work, get that hard earned money, you pay the bills, and since this is your salary, you reward yourself by spending beyond your income. This is where most people lost their hard earned money. And then you don't have savings anymore. Aside from that, you need to pay for your house loan, car loan, credit card, and appliance loan. And the rat race cycle begins because you need to start working again. Rat race is a frustrating, hard to break financial lifestyle. If you don't do anything about it, you will be working for the rest of your life. Now, the $1 million question is, how can we escape the rat race? The answer is basic financial literacy. Financial literacy is the ability to manage your money effectively. You don't need to be smart to learn this stuff. But if you are not yet a financially literate person, Get yourself there as fast as you can. What does this mean? This means that you sit down and map out a plan. Get control of your spending habits. Minimize your debt and liabilities. Live within your means before trying to increase your means. You will be surprised on how little money you can invest per month at a realistic rate of return it will take to reach your goals. Goals such as at what age do you plan to stop working? If you use your time wisely, it can be your greatest ally of success. Famous Albert Einstein said that compound interest is the eighth natural wonder of the world and the most powerful thing I have ever encountered. Why? Let's take an example. Pedro and Juan both earn 30,000 pesos a month. The difference between Pedro and Juan is Juan saves early. At the age of 22, he managed to open an account and found a 12% interest and invest 20,000 pesos a year for 6 years. Then he stopped investing. On the other hand, Pedro started investing at the age of 28 years old with the same amount of 20,000 pesos a year at 12% interest and then stopped investing also after 6 years. As you can see, both Juan and Pedro invested 120,000 pesos over a period of 6 years. But because earlier, he made a whopping 9,597,920 pesos. Meanwhile, Pedro, who started the same amount of money 6 years later, made only 4,862,610 pesos when they both reached the age of 62. Juan made 4 million more than Pedro just by starting early. That is the magic of compound interest. At this level, keep it simple, don't get fancy. Start saving on the right investment vehicle today. Take advantage of the health protection but not for wealth accumulation. Sit down with your loved ones and build your emergency fund. You don't need a lot of money to be wealthy, but a well-balanced financial habits will make you wealthy and successful over the long haul. If you start today and invest regularly, you can make it to a phenomenal wealth. Good luck on your investing journey and don't forget to enjoy the process.
Okay, the video stopped. So, from the video presented, what have you learned? If you want to answer, just kindly click the raise hand button. Yes, Miss Binyas?
Ma'am, talo po ng maagap ang masipag.
Yes, you're correct, Miss Binyas. So, how about you, Miss Ignacio? What have you learned from the video presented?
The most important lesson that I learned in the video poem is how to manage the needs and wants po, ma'am.
Okay, you're
So that,
also correct. Yes? Yes, Miss Ignacio?
ako yun po yun, ma'am.
Okay na. Thank you. So, sabi nga dito, na hindi ka man mahirap ngayon, pero if your financial habit, then it could make you wealthy someday. So, thank you, class, for sharing what have you learned. Now, let's have an activity. Now, I prepare a fortune roulette. Then inside this roulette, there's a number that corresponds to a name of a student. So just like what is presented in your screen. So Miss Bathan, but she is absent today. So Miss Lego, you are number one. Then Miss Binyas, number two. Mr. Donacao, number three. Mr. Francisco, number four. Miss Ignacio, number five. Mr. Montano, number six. Then Miss Tautau, number seven. And Miss Villa Cruz is your number eight. So I will spin the roulette to know which among you, my students, will answer the given question. So let's begin. Now I will spin the roulette. Then stop. Number two, Miss Binyas.
Yes, ma'am.
Here's my question for you. What is financial literacy?
Um, Financial literacy is the ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills, including personal financial management, budgeting, and investing.
Okay, thank you, Miss Binyas. You are correct. Now, for our second question, let's see whose student is lucky. And stop. Number 6. Who is number 6? Mr. Montano. Mr. Montano, here's my question for
Yes po,
you.
ma'am.
What is the importance of studying financial literacy?
It helps us to understand the value of money so we can handle our finance better. Being financially literate will teach us the importance of budgeting and savings. We won't just waste our money for very expensive gadgets, clothes, cars, bags, and shoes, and other things which we don't really need.
Okay, that's a good answer, Mr. Montano. So thank you so much. Now for our third question, let's see who is the lucky student. It is, oh, it's Miss Venus again. So let's spin it. Number 4, Mr. Francisco. Mr. Francisco, here is my question for you. Why do students need to study financial literacy?
Ma'am, ano po kasi siya, ma'am, financial literacy kasi po, important po siya for students to develop because sadly, the world is a money driven place po kasi students need to understand how powerful money can be. At saka, student must learn how to balance money in a manner that allows them to accommodate both their needs and their wants.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Francisco. Very well said. Now, let's proceed to our generalization. So, what is the importance of financial planning in our life? If you want to answer, just click the raise hand button. Yes, Miss Vinyas.
So, importante po ang financial planning kasi though sinasabi nila na money can't buy happiness, pero it can secure your future. So, dapat habang maaga pa lang, mag-ipon na tayo kung gusto nating mabuhay tayo ng maayos pagdating ng panahon.
Okay, thank you, Miss Vinyas. Very well said. And it provides direction to your goals and or dreams. Financial planning helps us understand our goals better in terms of why we need to achieve these goals and how they impact other aspects of our life and finances. And second, financial planning makes us disciplined towards money. So we don't spend unnecessarily and we keep on checking on our savings and the way we spend our money. Now, for our second question, why do we need to be literate in financing? Yes, Mr. Francisco.
Ayun nga po ma'am, as I've answered before po, ano na po tayo, 21st century na po wherein yung mundo natin parang money-driven place po. So we have to be, tas sa generation din po ngayon na marami na rin pong mga tukso wherein we have to really weigh kung ano yung needs and wants natin, yung mga necessity natin bago tayo spend sa mga bagay na not so necessary po.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Francisco. Well, financial literacy, it is very important that each one of us is financially literate. Why? Because it helps us to manage our money effectively. Without it, our financial decisions and the actions that we take or don't take is lack of a solid foundation to success. So now, for application, I want you to make a video that is a vlog type for about 1 minute answering these questions. So the first question is, what are the financial issues you are facing today? Then the second question is, what will you do to mitigate and avoid to adopt it to yourself? So that's our application.
Everyone, I'm Nika C. Ignacio from BSIE ICT 2A, and for the application of financial literacy, here I will talk about how I address my financial problems and how I mitigate and adapt it in ourselves. This quarantine, the only financial problem that I experience is not getting what I really need because I myself, to be honest, I prioritize the things that I want. Of my financial problem during this quarantine, this financial literacy made me realize to budget my allowance properly and to prioritize my needs that I can use in my daily lives. That's all. Thank you.
So, ang financial issue ko, wala akong baon. Wala akong natatanggap na baon. Tsaka siguro yung pagiging mahilig kong bumili sa Shopee. Siguro nakatulong na rin na wala akong baon ngayon kasi wala akong panggastos. Though wala akong baon, meron naman akong source of income, parang ganun. Kasi binabayaran ako ng nanay ko ng 500 sa pag-check ng mga papers ng bata. So, siguro nakatulong na rin yun para makontrol ko yung paggastos ko kasi nga wala akong panggastos. Tinitipid ko.
Situation that the pandemic brought to us, many individuals were not able to keep their source of income. Not having a source of income had given a huge problem to all. There are bills, food, rentals, and other online education that needed money in order to maintain. Mitigating this problem was so hard, especially for the people who live in the city, who has no other source of food aside from the one they usually buying. Thankfully, there are some help from the government, a little maybe but a huge help in times like this. But in order to be able to make this sufficient, a critical budgeting and a self-discipline was needed. Budgeting and consuming just the right amount of money and food could mitigate financial problem and could survive at least enough on this ongoing quarantine. An extreme enthusiasm and optimism is also needed to keep our mind sane. We should always believe that every problem has a solution and an end.
Now for assessment and evaluation, I will send a link in our GC, and then I want you to study at these three questions because our assessment and evaluation is all about these three questions. Am I make myself clear, my dear students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am.
Thank you. Now, for our assignment, I want you to make your own financial plan. Then, magsasend ako ng format sa GC natin. Then, the deadline will be on next week, Wednesday. So, yun lang. Do you have any questions or clarification?
None
Hello?
so far po.
None so far, no? Clear naman po, ma'am.
Okay. So, kung wala na kayong mga questions, and let's end it. So, that's all. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you po,
Thank
ma'am.
you po,
Bye,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you
Thank you
po. God
po.
bless po.
Bye.